Love is, I mean, you forget you live in a very different world, which is very satisfying to you. You don't have any complaints, and you are happy with your partner. You want to look forward, you want to meet. So it gives a very different perspective of, I mean, it's very, very different, very different feeling from a regular feeling.
I think it also empowers you. It gives the courage. I've seen, and it is not, I'm not talking about our state of mind at that time, but when we meet youngsters also, you find that there is some courage that comes because there's some strength. It is also, it empowers you.
And I was lucky I drew her attention. She was very, very selective about talking to people. I don't know what attracted.
And he was good looking too.
You would think that in a country that is an explosion of religions, regions, customs and communities, this story that we are about to tell you is much more common than it actually is. India is home to at least 9 major religions. There are 4 major castes in India, but an estimated 3,000 subcastes at the minimum. 22 languages are recognized officially, but 19,500 mother tongues are spoken. There is no country more diverse in the world. You would imagine that, like the many colors of India, love too would be a rainbow of emotions and unions. And yet, when it comes to how Indians marry, the choices mostly remain traditional, conformist, and status quoist. Less than 5% of Indians marry outside of their caste, according to a 2016 report. When it comes to crossing the religious divide, those numbers become even more bleak. In fact, as many as 2 in every 3 Indians oppose interreligious marriages, a 2021 survey by the US-based Pew Center revealed. And 63% of those polled said they were against intercaste marital unions. There is a confusing contradiction in these numbers though. Respecting all religions is seen by an overwhelming majority of Indians polled as important to the definition of being Indian. And 53% of people see India's diversity as an asset. But forget love, most people say their close friends are also from their own religions. In other words, Indians evidently prefer a thali to a khichdi, expecting different groups to remain within their own spaces. Seema Auntie from the Netflix series Indian Matchmaking may seem like a caricature or stereotype, but perhaps her normalization of casteism and colorism in arranging marriages is an uncomfortable reality check. This is the story of Asif Iqbal. When Asif was a student, he, a Muslim boy, fell in love with a Hindu girl, Ranu Kulshresht. That love story, in fact, led to Asif committing his entire life, personal and professional, to helping others who are in love but are facing hurdles and obstacles. But Asif Iqbal has one condition. The couples he helps are only those who are seeking a union under the Special Marriage Act. In other words, no religious conversions. Because Asif Iqbal believes that you do not have to give up your own identity because you fall in love with someone else. He believes that love transcends all of these barriers. Before Asif Iqbal embraced the role of playing an Indian-style Cupid counselor, he and Ranu had to convince their own families. For young people, often this is the hardest part. Losing the approval and love of their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles and cousins. And sometimes dealing with active hostility and threats. Now that Asif and Ranu are parents and bringing up their own children, they have been careful to not impose either of their religions on their daughters, even giving them surnames that are not identified with either faith.
It was resistance in the sense that we will not support it. We will not, we are not with you. Initially they said no, it's not possible. दोनों के परिवारों में. And then they realized that कि भाई जब बहुत ही serious हो रहा है तो they said कि do whatever you want but we will not support you. You don't come to us. So it was difficult. We both met respective families. I also went to her house and met her, the family. She also came to my family. पर मना ही था.
मना था बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है जब औरों को देखते हैं तो उस किस्म का रेजिस्टेंस नहीं था कि पाबंदियां लगा दी या नौकरी छुड़वाने की कोशिश की गई या वायलेंस हुआ. उनके अपने एप्रीहेंशंस थे. उनको ये था कि भाई एडजस्टमेंट इश्यूज होंगे, फैमिलीज़ में डिफरेंस था, बैकग्राउंड्स अलग थे. सो दे वर more skeptical rather than being very intolerant towards this whole decision.
From my family, it's okay, you are there, but still if you ask them, they will say कि गलत किया है. And on top of that, you are also telling people to do that. तो एक और वो है कि खुद तो किया, अब आप दूसरों को भी बोल रहे हैं कि करने के लिए.
तो आप अपने पेरेंट्स को नहीं मना पाए?
नहीं, मनाने की कोशिश भी नहीं की हमने क्योंकि We agree to disagree. क्यों जब वो हमें नहीं मना पाए तो हम क्यों उनको मनाने में लगे?
लेकिन फिर से मैं बोलूँगी कि हमारा relationship is very functional. We visit, we take care of each other, families and.
You talk to his parents?
Oh, I visit. जो हमारी family है, मेरे बच्चे, मेरा मतलब हम चारों, we do not have similar ideology. We do not have similar faith, and I think difference of my because of this marriage, we stand out. We are not like them. So that I think वो कसक ज़्यादा है कि वो practices नहीं करते हो, वो follow नहीं करते हो, बच्चों को ये नहीं आता है, वो ज़्यादा चीज़ है.
हाँ, मुझे लगता है वो आसान हो गया होता अगर रानू जो है would have become Muslim. She must have embraced Islam. तो दिक्कत नहीं हुई होती, तब तो फिर ठीक हो गया होता. लेकिन यहाँ पे वो एक कहीं उनको एक है कि जैसा होना चाहिए वैसा नहीं है.
You have 2 children?
Yes, 2 daughters.
How old are they?
15 and 13.
I'll tell you why I ask. I ask because what do you tell them about religion and what their religious identity is?
We don't tell them anything. They observe. And my children, and we celebrate all the festivals. So celebration part of cultural background is very clear. Their religion, my elder daughter is very clear that she's an atheist because she questions a lot of things because and she, I think she was 4 or 5. She was क्यों होता है, क्या होता है, ऐसा क्यों करते हैं लोग, झगड़ते क्यों हैं. The younger one. Initially, when she was young, she loved celebrations. So she would become. She said, "Abhi Christmas aane wala hai, I will become Christian, and abhi Eid aane wali." So that's there. But now she's also. She says, "I'm a humanist." So that's there.
Suppose your daughters came to both of you एक दिन. अभी young हैं, अभी तो बहुत views बदलेंगे, evolve होंगे.
बदलना भी चाहिए.
और वो आपसे आके कहे, "Am I Hindu? Am I Muslim? Am I neither?" What would your answer be?
My daughter, we gave. She had that situation. Class 10th का board का form भरने में, उसने कहा मुझे other लिखना है और उसके आगे उसने atheist लिख दिया. So Abhi did not say anything.
But if they come and if they want to practice something, we don't have any problem. Provided there should not be any element of fanaticism in it. Openness होना चाहिए. आपको हेट्रेड नहीं पैदा करे किसी चीज़ के, किसी भी फेथ के थ्रू, किसी के अगेंस्ट. सो दैट्स ओके. आई मीन एज लॉन्ग एज यू आर एंड यू शुड बी ओपन कि आप यहाँ बैठ नहीं जाइए कि यही फाइनल है.
बच्चे अगर कुछ अपना हमने उस समय भी फॉर्म भी भर रही थी. आई सेड व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू राइट, व्हाट डू यू फील. शी हैड दैट पापा का रिलीजन, मम्मा का रिलीजन, कोई थर्ड रिलीजन,
Whatever you want to
शी
write.
सेड मुझे उसका जरूरत क्या है?
ये लव जिहाद का इलाज करना जरूरी है बच्चियों को बचाने के लिए। अगर इसके लिए कानून बनाना पड़े तो, कुछ और करना पड़े तो किया जाना आवश्यक है।
कहा था वो करके दिखाया है और ये भी कहने के लिए आए हैं। कल पर इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने एक आदेश दिया है कि धर्म परिवर्तन के लिए शादी ब्याह के लिए धर्म परिवर्तन आवश्यक नहीं किया जाना चाहिए, इसको मान्यता नहीं मिलनी चाहिए। और इसलिए सरकार भी निर्णय ले रही है कि हम लव जिहाद को सख्ती से रोकने का कार्य करेंगे।
और दूसरा लड़की को ले आया डेटिंग करने के लिए, फिर किसी ने, पुलिस ने इसको पूछा, भाई आप खाली हिंदू लड़की क्यों लाते हैं? बोला नहीं, हिंदू भावुक होता है, हिंदू का साथ बातचीत करके हिंदू लड़की का साथ बातचीत करने में भावुक हो जाता है, दे आर इमोशनल, तो उनके लिए मैं उन लोग को लेके आया हूँ।
Asif and Ranu's relationship is an island of serenity in a storm of politics. The phrase love jihad, now a normalized part of our contemporary lexicon, is routinely invoked in election speeches that allude to Muslims luring away Hindu girls into marriages intended to convert them to Islam. Several BJP states, including Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh, have now passed anti-conversion legislations. Allegations of love jihad are routinely cited as an example of toxic love that has one singular aim: to proselytize and convert women to Islam. This, Asif Iqbal points out, is the bogeyman of present-day politics. If religion conversion is indeed the objection, he says, why doesn't the government, why don't the state governments move to make the Special Marriage Act much easier to execute? The Special Marriage Act was enacted by India's Parliament in 1954 when India was still a 7-year-old infant independent nation. Actor Swara Bhaskar recently brought it into the headlines. And most recently, of course, it has become the rallying point for the same-sex marriage petitions. In 2023, here's the irony. The historic hearing in the Supreme Court to legalize same-sex unions is counting on a forward-thinking law from the 1950s. Asif Iqbal says his organization Dhanak, named fittingly after a rainbow, only intervenes in cases where neither man nor woman or neither partner in the case of trans couples is looking to change either their religion or their caste. The orthodoxies of both Hindu and Muslim communities, he says, are as rigid, and at the heart of it all is the desire to control women and their bodies.
They immediately want that family should reconcile. फैमिली मान जाए, पहला ये होता है कि फैमिली मान जाए तब हम करें, और दूसरा ये होप होती है कि होने के तुरंत बाद रिकंसाइल कर जाए, which leads to lot of issues in the marriage
and compromises
from
one side. Whosoever side comes first to support, they would want conversion, they would want practices like that, they would also want to them to shift with along, and once you shift, obviously
फैमिली के मानने का मतलब ये है कि you live the life according to us. तो वो then there is a huge compromise कि फिर एक, वो कौन करेगा? फीमेल करेगी, बीवी करेगी.
और लड़के की फैमिली धनक में हम लोगों ने देखा ज़्यादा जल्दी मान भी जाती हैं, क्योंकि वो कहीं ना कहीं उस सोच से आती हैं कि बेटा हमारा है, और लड़की की फैमिली ये सोचती है कि यू नो इट्स एन ऑनर इशू, तो वो थोड़ा रेजिस्टेंस ज़्यादा दिन तक चलता है.
हम कह रहे हैं जैसे हैं वैसे रहिए आप क्यों बदलेंगे? यू हैव योर आइडेंटिटी. आप एकदम से 25 साल 21 साल आप जिए हैं, उसको बदल लीजिए, क्योंकि आपको समाज को दिखाना है, परिवार को दिखाना है. सबसे पहले तो परिवार को
केवल बदलने की ही बात नहीं है. स्पेशल मैरिजेस एक्ट ऑल्सो ट्रीट्स बोथ द पार्टनर्स इक्वली इर्रेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ मेन और विमेन, जो कि रिलीजियस लॉज में नहीं है. तो हमारा ये भी मकसद है कि महिला को उतना ही अधिकार हो सिविल मैरिज के थ्रू, जो कि कोई भी रिलीजियस मैरिज नहीं उतना अधिकार देगी. They won't treat them equally.
At district courts like this one, 3 times a week, couples or their lawyers can come to declare their intent of wanting to get married. The Special Marriage Act of 1954 offers all Indians, irrespective of caste or religious identity, the option to get married under civil law, an alternative, as it were, to religious laws. It's a progressive law, but here's the catch. Once a notice is declared by the imminent couples to the marriage officer, he or she has to display this notice in a conspicuous place. And then there's a 30-day period, a waiting period, in which anyone can raise an objection. It is this period that couples say is often used to harass them and sometimes is even life-threatening.
SMA का प्रोसेस इतना लंबा है ना कि इतना लंबा पेपर वर्क करने के लिए, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करने के लिए वो बहुत ज़्यादा घबराते हैं। तो आधे लोग वहीं पर पीछे हो जाते हैं कि नो, वी विल पे बट वी विल गो फॉर अ रिलीजियस मैरिज, क्योंकि वो एक ही दिन में हो जाने वाली है एंड वी विल बी हैविंग अ सर्टिफिकेट, मैरिज सर्टिफिकेट अलॉन्ग विद अस। तो आधे लोग वहीं पर पीछे हट जाते हैं। लेकिन जो कुछ लोग होते हैं जो कि चाहते हैं कि हमारी शादी आगे भी, गिविंग द सिनेरियो राइट नाउ, कि हमारी मैरिज रहे, अच्छा सर्टिफिकेट रहे हमारे पास, तो वो अगर जाते हैं तो उनको जो हर्डल्स आती हैं उसमें जो मैरिज ऑफिसर्स हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट करते हैं। लाइक मैरिज नोटिस उनके घर पर भेज देना, उनके पुलिस स्टेशंस में भेज देना। एक तरह से वो लोग उनकी जो पर्सनल सिक्योरिटी होती है, उनकी सेफ्टी को स्टेक पर रख देते हैं।
In many cases it is the question of life or death. So how would a couple be able to go through that duration? Like 45 days is huge. People leave their homes
and it is not even 45
without
days.
even a penny or even some set of clothes. The people have to, like many times that has happened. How would that couple wait for 45 days?
And it is not even 45 days, to be very honest. If you are a couple coming from outside Delhi, right, you'll have to live here for around 30 days in a Delhi address, right? Then you'll have to achieve your address proofs. Then you'll have to apply it. Then you'll have to wait for 30 days, and then you'll have to follow the entire process. So it is close to 90 days. Everyone wants an easy solution. When we were thinking of it, we were also wanting an easy solution. And the easy solution is religious marriage, right? The easiest solution. You can get your marriage done in 2 hours. So when you are a couple from different faith, right? If you are pushing, if you are making a law so stringent, then you are pushing the couples basically to not follow a law, right? And you are pushing them to a religious marriage and to do a conversion, which is a crime, right? Just for the sake of the marriage, they are converting because that is the easiest solution available.
Despite the Supreme Court mandating safe houses where such couples on the run not from the law but from their own families can stay, only 4 states have taken action: Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and Kerala, that has announced an intent to do so. The court's path-breaking verdict came in 2010 in what came to be known as the Shakti Vahini case. Delivered in the context of so-called Khap Panchayats and a spate of honor killings, the court said any attempt to prevent 2 consenting adults from marrying is absolutely illegal. Once in a month, Asif Iqbal makes sure to meet the couples who have to hide like criminals just for daring to love. On the way to a safe house in the national capital, he explains how different state governments have ignored clear instructions from the Supreme Court.
It depends from marriage officer to marriage officer. Sometimes they say, oh, the notice will go to the family. They know that it doesn't go, but then they will say, no, it will go to the family. They will gauge the couple. And it intimidates the couple. Then even the clerks will say that notice will go. They will ask, okay, family is ready or not. Now, of course, family is not ready. So that creates a pressure on the couple. And somewhere, some marriage officers, they are not complying with the direction of High Court. They are sending the notices also. So there is always an element of fear when the couple is approaching for the marriage officer for marriage. So therefore, they would like somebody, either an advocate or an organization which is working on that. And the objective is just to get married. I mean, even the organization will tell that this is the correct path which you have to take, but they might not. They will, for them getting married, whether they need to bribe or they need to, take a shortcut, they will take that, because that is an urgent and emergency part for them. So for us, our hand-holding it at that level where the couple is aligning with our thought. We will not tell them to go take a shortcut or bribe somebody. We will not tell them.
Asif Iqbal has become a combination of marriage counselor, legal advisor, friend and confidant for young people across India.
आशीष सर नहीं होते तो हम इतनी हिम्मत भी नहीं कर पाते, वहाँ से निकल भी पाते।
धनक के जितने भी कपल्स हैं उनके लव गुरु है आसिफ सर। अगर आपके राहों में, किसी की राहों में ऐसे जोड़े जो डर रहे हैं, वो धनक की शरण में आइएगा। आपको यहाँ पे प्यार का कानून मिलेगा, प्यार का कोर्ट मिलेगा आपको यहाँ पे।
We were not convinced about how we will be taking our religion side. So she was trying to Google everything, and she went on and found out Dhanak is an organization that is already there and that is working, helping couples in such scenario. So then we reached out to Dhanak, and when the first time we met Asif sir. So that was the whole turning point of the story. We met him for around 1.5 hours in some cafe.
And I
or something.
still remember the day. It was Karwa Chauth of 2014.
And that is where we got to know that there is a Special Marriage Act, and we being working in multinational companies and working in NCRs, and we didn't knew that there is already a law by which we both can marry and without changing our religion. So that 1.5 hours is something that has changed our life.
Often they have seen only his YouTube videos and derived hope from those. Like this young couple in their early 20s, the woman from Rajasthan, the man from Bihar. Both had to leave their home states because there was no safe house available in either of the states for them to take shelter. They arrived in Delhi after they heard of Asif Iqbal online. They now live in a government-run safe house for runaway couples in the capital. We're on our way right now to meet a couple, a Hindu-Muslim couple that has been trying for weeks to get married under the Special Marriage Act. One of them is from Uttar Pradesh, the other from Bihar. But they've been living in a government-run safe house in Delhi. They've made multiple trips to the court, they say, but for one reason or the other, their application to get married under the Special Marriage Act keeps getting rejected. It gets even more complicated for men and women who come from outside the jurisdiction of the court that is supposed to register the Special Marriage Act, because the jurisdiction clause, activists say, can often be a technicality that can be used for those who leave their own home states to pursue love. We meet them at a public park in North Delhi. Some couples here are able to love openly and freely, capturing their relationship in images for posterity on camera. But others, like the couple we are meeting, must hide, living in fear and hoping for better times. आप लोग तो दोनों काफी यंग हैं, तो अभी आप लोग शादी क्यों करना चाहती हैं, आप बताओ?
मैम मतलब फैमिली जबरदस्ती मेरी शादी कहीं और करना चाहती थी और पढ़ाई लिखाई छुड़वा देती थी, तो इसीलिए हमें कोई और ऑप्शन दिखा नहीं और शादी भी कहीं और करवा रही थी, और जो कि मुझे शादी करनी नहीं थी।
तो एक तरह से ये दबाव की वजह से आपको जल्दी शादी करनी पड़ी। और कोर्ट में क्या प्रॉब्लम, आप 2-3 बार गए हैं कोर्ट?
हाँ।
क्या प्रॉब्लम है बताओ?
पहली बार गए थे तो वो बोला कि टाइम खत्म हो गया, वापस चले जाओ।
अच्छा।
हाँ, क्योंकि वो टाइम हमें दिया नहीं था और 3 बजे तक हम वहीं बैठे थे तो बोला टाइम खत्म हो गया चले जाओ। दूसरी बार गए तो बोल रहा एड्रेस का प्रॉब्लम है कि हम दिल्ली के एड्रेस से करेंगे, दोनों में से किसी एक के पास दिल्ली का एड्रेस होना चाहिए। तो बल्कि हमने उन्हें बोला भी कि यहाँ जितने कपल पहले रह चुके हैं वो तो सेफ हाउस के ही एड्रेस से किए, तो बोला जो पहले शादी करवाता था उसने करवाया, अब मैं नहीं करवाऊंगा। तो वो इसको वैलिड नहीं मान रहा जो हमें यहाँ से रेजिडेंस प्रूफ।
मतलब वो कह रहे हैं कि क्योंकि आप दिल्ली के नहीं हैं तो आपकी ज्यूरिसडिक्शन बनती नहीं है।
हाँ।
तो अब आप क्या सोच रही है इसका क्या करने को?
तो मैम हमने फिर आधार कार्ड चेंज करवाया।
आधार कार्ड चेंज?
हाँ, और क्योंकि और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था मैम, फैमिली पीछे पड़ी थी, हम पेटिशन डालते या कुछ भी करते, उसमें बहुत लंबा प्रोसेस चलता, उतने में फैमिली हमारे साथ क्या करती हमें नहीं पता।
Ironically, the pressure and threats from their families sometimes pushes young people into marriage much earlier than even they had planned. This young woman, for instance, wants to be a pharmacist. She tells us if it were not for her parents threatening to get her married to another man, she would have wanted to study further before thinking of marriage right now. Asif Iqbal has single-handedly changed the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of men and women from across India. He has given them reason to hope. But more importantly, by focusing on marriages that take place only under civil law, he has reminded Indians of love's most important lesson. You do not have to, and you must not, compromise your individual identity to be in a fulfilling relationship. Here are the lives touched and transformed by Asif's belief in the power of love.
What does love mean to both of you? Fight.
वो तो करते रहना।
हाँ, ऐसा कुछ हमारा वैसे ऐसा नहीं है लव का मीनिंग, हम तो बस लड़ते ही रहते हैं एंड reunite to have।
छोटी छोटी बातों पे मुझे सुनाती रहती है, तुमने अपना बिस्तर साफ नहीं किया, तुमने कपड़े यहाँ पे फेंक दिए।
हाँ, जो एक रेगुलर लाइफ होती है उसी में लव ढूंढ लें तो आई थिंक दैट इज द बेस्ट।
When you trust somebody, when you respect somebody to a level that you know that this respect will not fade and the kind of respect you are getting from that person will not fade, I think that is love.
For me, it is equality in the sense that you need to give, you need to follow that into your daily life, and obviously respect is one thing that you need to give the equal amount of respect you are getting from the other person. That's the thing.
हमारी कहानी में तो हमारा तो छोटा सा ही है, रेगिस्तान से निकले हुए दो प्रेमी।
इंसानियत को नया धर्म बनाएं, चलो इश्क लड़ाएं।